Megan, good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us. You are a clinical dietitian, so tell us a little bit about Megan Block and what a clinical dietitian is.
I graduated from SDSU a few years ago, back in 2019, and I have been at Prairie Lakes ever since. I have taught the program Core4 since I started here, but on a day-to-day basis, I see anywhere from multiple inpatients that need assistance with getting more calories, but I also see outpatients specifically for various educations, whether it's heart disease, diabetes related, weight loss, you name it. We see a variety of individuals.
Tell us a little bit about the Core4 Winter Program.
We start Tuesday, January 14th. It is a 12-week program. We meet once a week for 12 weeks. We'll have two different time sessions. You could either sign up for the noon or the 5 o'clock session. Both are going to be an hour long. We cover all kinds of different topics, anywhere from behavior modification, because your behavior plays a large role in ability to lose weight, but we also cover portion sizes, label reading, meal planning, tips with dining out. We also discuss different areas like fat, carbs, fiber, protein, water, vitamins and minerals. And then we also touch base on exercise as well, because between eating and being physically active, it plays a big role in your ability to lose or maintain weight.
It seems to me, Megan, like it sounds like for people who are looking to lose some weight, but gosh, they really don't know where or how to start, that this program might be a really good starting point for them.
Yes, and maybe even their goal isn't specifically weight loss, but more just the education side of things to help give them a better idea of what to focus on. Within those 12 weeks, you also meet with the dietitian individually twice. The first part of class, we do an individual dietitian appointment, so we visit with them about their eating habits, what they've tried for weight loss, what their goals for the class are. We do different measurements and like a body composition to differentiate the difference between their fat and muscle weight. And then we do it again at the end of the 12 weeks to see what their success was.
Megan, you mentioned behavior modification. What does that mean in terms of people and some of the bad habits, some of the bad eating habits that we maybe get into that become habitual and can be hard to get out of? What are some of those modifications and how do we do that?
So with behavior modification, one of the biggest things we talk about is a lot of that emotional eating and how to control it or what to do to help maintain it. Regardless of where you go, there's always food, or everyone has always rewarded somebody with food, whether it was for a birthday or passing a test or whatever the case is. And so you always reward yourself with food, whether it's good or bad days, whether you're stressed, whether you're not sleeping enough. And so just trying to learn more of your own behaviors and how to reel in or different ways to manage your stress, how to get more sleep, those types of things, so that it also impacts those choices that you're making.
You mentioned that this is a 12-week program and you meet once a week at either a noon session or a 5 p.m. session.
Yes.
And Megan, it says on my notes here that this is done in a group setting. So if you're part of that group, do you have to share your story? Can you just sit and listen? Give us some sense of what it's like.
Yep, so the group setting is when we meet every week, and we always cover one of our topics that I had listed before. If you have questions, by all means, for you to ask them is probably going to help somebody else along the way as well. We don't make you open up or share anything that you're not comfortable with, but to grow those relationships with other individuals around you that are also working towards potentially the same goals can just help keep that individual or the ones around them motivated, but also by everyone asking questions that are on their mind can just help everyone learn throughout the process.
Weight loss and the rate at which a person loses weight can vary from person to person. What would you say, Megan, to the person who is following every suggestion, every rule to a T in terms of I'm not eating any junk food. I'm not eating after a certain time at night. I'm drinking X amount of cups or glasses of water a day. I'm doing everything I should, and I'm just not seeing results, because that can get frustrating and people can say, you know what, this is just a waste of time here.
Honestly, my biggest advice is always don't get discouraged, which is always easier said than done. Everybody's weight loss journey is very different, which is what I love about this class, is because we individualize things for the specific person that's coming to us. One thing, over the last 5.5 years that I've taught this class, I've had many individuals that have followed. We review food logs if you're tracking your food to help provide advice. I've had those that are not sedentary and doing the physical activity, and the number on their scale just isn't moving. They continue towards their goals, and eventually they start to see that number tick down. The biggest thing is always remember the number on the scale isn't necessarily the only thing to focus on. Your energy levels, how your clothes are fitting, can all play a big role in if you are or aren't losing weight. The one thing that I like about the body composition that we do is that it does differentiate the difference between your fat and muscle mass. So if your clothes are fitting looser, maybe the composition of your body is just changing, so you're gaining more muscle and you're losing that fat, but the overall number on the scale that you see from day to day just hasn't quite made that change to go down quite yet. So definitely don't get discouraged. It's always a process, and it's a long one. We have to remember that our weight didn't pop on overnight, so it's not going to fall off overnight. And slow, sustainable weight loss is really what we want to see, because if it's a fast drop in weight, it's probably muscle or water weight that they're losing, and we don't want to see those things.
Megan, how important is it, in addition to eating healthy, eating the proper foods, how important is it to mix in with that some exercise, even if it's maybe only 15 or 20 minutes a day on a treadmill?
Yes. Being more physically active and less sedentary provides tons of benefits to the body, and it's not just to maintain or to lose weight. It is important to get up and move, even if you've only got 10 minutes between activities in the day and you think that's not enough. That's still time in order to get some physical activity in. Vigorously cleaning your house or going for walks, swimming, biking, hiking, but also that muscle strengthening area that many people forget as well is really important to help build and maintain that muscle mass, especially as we age.
Is this program, Megan, for folks of any age?
It is, yep. Anyone can sign up. We would recommend at least 18 or above, but regardless of the age, we are more than happy to have you.
Should people get signed up for this Core4 Winter Program in advance? And if they need to get signed up in advance, how do they do that?
We do have what's called an early bird pricing. It'll be $20 off of our original price of $140. So if you sign up before Monday, January 6th, you'd make it into the class for $120. We do keep our classes fairly small. Weight loss is more of an individualized thing, so we want to have enough time with all of our participants. To sign up, you would just go to prairielakes.com/core4, or if you're having difficulties finding it, you can always give us a call, 605-882-7874.
And again, that website is prairielakes.com/core, C-O-R-E, and the number 4. Is this something new that Prairie Lakes has done, Megan?
No, Core4 has been around for quite a few years. Since I started teaching it 5.5 years ago, it was around a few years yet before that. And before Core4 had started, I think it was called Create Your Weight. So the information has been updated over the years. The name has just changed, and we recently went through and revised the entire program right around 2 years ago, or right close to 2 years ago. So it's all evidence-based, scientific education. All of our information is up to date. And so the biggest thing is really just learning more of a healthy lifestyle. Nobody wants to be told that they have to eat a certain diet or be on a diet their entire life in order to lose weight. So it's definitely just learning a healthier lifestyle.
Have you seen over the years that it's been around, Megan, have you seen some success stories of folks that have really transformed maybe not only their physical self, but mentally too?
I have, yes. My favorite part of this class is always getting to meet my participants and growing that relationship with them. Whether I'm out at the grocery store or shopping, it's always nice to have them come up to me and tell me how well they're still doing or what they've all learned and how they've continued to put it into their current day-to-day life. And some people just want the education side of things or learning more about that behavior modification type of things. But regardless, my favorite part is always seeing the success that individuals have throughout the class.
Indeed. One last question for you here, Megan, before we let you go. For folks out there who maybe set a weight loss goal and they've got a target number in mind of, I want to get down to this weight, I want to lose this many pounds, and then they get there. I've heard people say that getting there is hard, but keeping it there might be even harder. So what are the keys to that?
Still, just because you hit your weight loss doesn't mean to give up on what you've done the last so many months to get there. You still have to keep in mind that an overall healthy diet with a variety of food groups and still learning to treat yourself but doing it in moderation is definitely important, but also keeping that less sedentary lifestyle and movement is important as well.
All right, tell us again, it's the Core4 Winter Program. It starts next month. If you can, Megan, just highlight again when the program begins and how folks can get signed up for it.
Yes, we begin Tuesday, January 14th. Again, you can sign up for that noon or 5 p.m. session. Both are an hour long. In order to get there, it'd be www.prairielakes.com/core4, or you can give us a call at 605-882-7874. Reminder that our early bird pricing will end Monday, January 6th. And if you sign up before the 6th of January, it'd be $120. Otherwise, anything after that is $140. Also, just remembering we keep our class sizes fairly small, so they will cap off at 10 individuals.
All right. And are the classes held the same day each week for 12 weeks?
They are. Yep. They're always on Tuesdays.
On Tuesdays. Excellent. Megan, good to visit with you. Good luck with the program. You have a great day, Megan.
You too.
Yeah, bye-bye.